Yeah, I'm gonna throw that at
You went there.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down Once More. Matt here, and I'm joined once again by Brad, becoming a very frequent and recurring guest these weeks months while Rayleigh is gone. So welcome again, Brad. You're ready
Thank you
for another round.
Oh, yeah. I guess the people can't get enough of me, so I appreciate you having me back on.
Well, they are saying we are the new heights of musical podcasts, so we can't disappoint them. If you drop off, it's just me. That's no fun.
They sure
lose
are, Matt.
that street cred.
It's true.
It's blowing up. So, anyway, this week we are going to do an updated. Well, we're going to do an updated of our favorite current musical songs. But to mix it up a little bit more, Brad had the good suggestion. We're going to do kind of underappreciated musical songs that are our favorites. So, not the big main numbers from the musical. No One Day More from Les Mis. No Phantom of the Opera from Phantom of the Opera. So that's what we're going to be coming at you with this week. So
yeah, we figured you've heard us talk and enough people talk about the most recognizable songs from musicals. So it's about time we spread the love a little bit to songs that are still our favorites, but aren't the first ones that come to mind when you bring up the most popular musicals. Or maybe it's a song from a musical that is itself not the most popular.
You bring up what?
But
You're
slaps
frozen
so hard.
You're gone for me. Oh.
Not for me. I was there for myself.
Sorry, I interrupted you because you froze for me and I had no idea what you said. Last time that happened, it was still there. So I just interjected with whatever you said. So sorry, I'm sure it was very
that's
well
a
thought out
move,
and
man.
said.
It was
I know,
it was eloquent. We'll fix that in editing. By we, I mean
was it
you.
Eloquent or was it pretentious? Which one was it?
I'll be pretentious later, but that one was eloquent.
Okay, perfect. Then I apologize for interrupting your eloquent rant. I'll do it again for your pretentious one. So,
well, it was more exposition than a rant, man. And there's the pretension.
Okay. There we go. I will say this was actually fairly easy for me because for the most part, I prefer the lesser known songs from musicals are ones that I tend to kind of latch on to and that kind of stick with me more. So this, I don't think we're going to have much cross contamination, if you will, because like our other drafts that we've done, once a song is drafted, once one of us takes it, it's off the board. You can't steal it. The last one that we did for musical love songs, we gave reprises, went with the original. We're going to split that for these because I think a lot of times some of the big numbers have reprises and the reprises are lesser appreciated. So there's a chance those could get drafted. So we're going to split that up for it just to give us some more options. So, well, once again, be a gentleman, and I'll let you go first, Brad. You can do the first round draft pick.
Well, I really appreciate that. I appreciate that, Matt. But before we jump in, I thought we could warm up with a different sort of top 5 list. This is a blind ranking list. And you have no idea what is about to come on the list. But here's the game. I'm going to give you 5 different musicals. And you're going to rank them 1 through 5 without knowing what comes next. So if I said In the Heights, you would have to say 3. And then 3's off the board. And at the end, we'll have 1 through 5 musicals for Matt. And excited to see where this goes.
And I could be stuck with just shit, though. Like you could have where
you have no idea.
The last one you give me is like Mary Poppins, and I saved 1 for Mary Poppins or something. Or maybe I'm just trying to throw you off the track. Maybe that really is my number 1.
Or maybe I saved, your favorite musical in the world for last. And you already gave someone number 1, so.
Okay, let's give it a try.
What are we going to do?
Okay.
All right, Matt. blind rank these musicals. Wicked.
3.
I think that's solid. I think that's a good one. 3 with Wicked.
3 with Wicked.
Next up, we got Les Mis.
See, I'm worried you're just giving me shit at the end.
This is tough.
I think for musicals themselves, for like enjoyment factor, I think I enjoy Wicked more than Les Mis. So,
wow, hot take.
Well, Les Mis is very good, but it's kind of a downer of a musical. So, like, Wicked has more upbeat numbers, fun beats, notes. I'm gonna give Les Mis 4. I know this is gonna bite me in the ass. I'm giving Les Mis 4.
The villain origin story takes it over, a triumph of the human spirit. That's fine.
Correct. Over the redemption of someone. Correct.
Whatever.
I just like green people better than
Book of
French
Mormon.
people.
Yeah. I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then immediately came to that conclusion myself.
Exactly. Book of Mormon, I'm gonna...
You hurt yourself here.
It was going to be above Wicked. I'm just debating 2 or 1 for Book of Mormon. I'm going to do Book of Mormon 2.
Fair enough.
I'm going to do 2.
Book of Mormon 2. All right. So, yeah. All right. So you're saving 2. The ends.
I know. I'm saving my bookends. And so we're going to see how bad it goes. So yeah, I've got Book of Mormon 2, Wicked 3, Les Mis 4. And so far, I'm happy with that until I see what these next 2 are. I'm also kind of paranoid that you didn't actually have 5 planned and you're just trying to fuck me here. And you're going to like throw an audible in that wasn't on your 5 list, which would be really fucked up.
We'll see. We'll see. Mean Girls.
I enjoy Mean Girls. With the list I have going on, I'm really, really worried you're going to fuck me, but I'm going to put Mean Girls at 5.
Wow, that's tough because your number 1 musical is Cats.
God damn
it. Well,
see,
how do you feel about that list, Matt?
I'm happy with it except for Cats. I'd bump everything up 1. I'd do, like, if I was doing one that I know it, I think I'd be, like I said, I'd just switch. I'd bump everything up. I'd put Book of Mormon 1, Wicked 2, Les Mis 3, Mean Girls 4, and Cats 5. So I just need to roll over. But yeah, Cats at 1 is rough. That's
a tough one.
I would have been happy.
You just got to tweet that out.
Oh, that's
you just got to tweet that out. No context.
I never
top
tweet.
5 musicals.
Top 5 Cats. Musicals. Dude, some people fucking love Cats. I don't get it. Both the animal and the musical. Don't get it.
Isn't that also Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber?
It sure is.
How do you write The Phantom and then say, hey, like, fucking Cats?
I think Cats was first.
Sounds like a good idea, too. Wow.
It's based on...
I hope so.
Some kind of poems or book or something. It's based on something.
Okay.
So he did a new musical a couple years ago. That was Bad Cinderella. It opened on the West End, and then apparently it was handled badly with like COVID stuff and things like that. And so it didn't have a great run. The cast wasn't super thrilled with how everything went. It had Carrie Hope Fletcher in it, which she plays Veronica in the West End version of Heathers, the musical, which I really like, which is for free on Roku if you haven't watched it yet. But then they brought Bad Cinderella over to Broadway, and it did bad. Like, they ended its run before it was supposed to go. They changed up costume sets, some other things they reworked, and it just did not work well. There's a couple songs that are good and catchy, but it just, overall, the main story premise is just a mess and all over the place, and it did not work well. So Andrew Lloyd Webber is kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, no kidding.
Speaking of musicals in general, so I have the Broadway season tickets currently. So I've got Shrek coming up this week, and I'll be doing a mini review of that tour production this next episode that will come out after this. And apparently they've reworked it for the national tour. The people who wrote the musical, they said this is more of what their vision is. They streamlined it down, and they did some other production choices that's making it different than the Broadway. So we'll see how that is. I haven't seen the Broadway. There's a filmed version out there that I'll probably watch before I do next week's episode. But we'll see. I've got that coming up. But they did their announcement for the 2024-2025 season on Broadway tour. And so they've announced 4 of the 5 shows so far. And the first one is Dear Evan Hansen. And then they have Back to the Future, the musical. And then The Little Mermaid. And then there's a mystery one that they said it's running for 2 weeks. So it's a big popular production. They said it's one of Broadway's biggest musicals. And that's coming in February, and they'll announce it in May. And then Beetlejuice, the musical. So I don't know much about Back to the Future, the musical. I've heard that's good. I've heard Beetlejuice is really good too. I'm excited to see Dear Evan Hansen. And then they have Annie is an add-on. Is going to be here. And then Rent in Concert, which is with a full symphonic orchestra, which I don't know how that's going to work because Rent is not symphonic orchestra music. So I don't know. But I'm going to get tickets and check it out and see. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'm going to feel about
awesome.
that. Yeah, it could be. My predictions
Annie, I'm real hit or miss on.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever actually seen Annie.
It doesn't really move
any of the versions. So my prediction on the big one that they said is one of Broadway's biggest, I think it's probably going to be Wicked. But there's a chance. My other predictions, if it's not Wicked, because they had Phantom fairly recently, and I think they said it's this musical's first time in Lincoln, would be either there's a chance it could be Moulin Rouge, because Moulin Rouge, the Broadway version, has been met with some pretty good success. And they were in Omaha at the Orpheum this past year, and it seems like usually the ones Omaha gets, we get like a year or two later on the national tour. So it could be Moulin Rouge. It could also be Hadestown. So those are my 3 predictions. I think most likely it's going to be Wicked, but I think it could be Moulin Rouge or Hadestown. So we'll see. I'd be happy with any of those 3.
Any of those
I've already seen Wicked, so I'd prefer Moulin Rouge or Hadestown, but I liked Wicked, so I'd see it again.
Yeah.
All right. So
should we jump in?
Let's get into the meat of this. Yes. So underrated musical songs. You go first.
Yeah. I think that I'm going to start off with, because this is still a list of what's our favorite. And so I'm going to go with what's probably my favorite musical song right now. And that is School Song from Matilda the Musical. It is one of the cleverest musical songs I've ever seen. And then especially in the Netflix version, I haven't seen the play live. But the kids that Netflix got to perform were unbelievable. And the whole song is, Matilda, it's her first day of school, and the older kids are like warning her about what it's like. And the lyrics walk through the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, but in a not obvious way. It's really subtle. In fact, they run through it 2 times. The first time I completely missed that that's what they were doing. And then visually they show, like on classroom doors and different signs that have the letters. So you think you're able to survive this mess by being, and they're just like bouncing and showing the different letters. And it's catchy, it's witty, it's brilliantly performed. That's my number 1 school song, Matilda the Musical.
Okay. Nice. See, I know nothing about Matilda except you texted me and asked if I'd seen it. I'd seen the preview when it was first coming to Netflix, and I think Rayleigh and I may have actually mentioned it on here when it was announced that it was coming out. I didn't know it existed before then. Recently, like before you texted me that, I'd been in a Tim Minchin phase from Jesus Christ Superstar, and he's the one who wrote the music for the Matilda musical. He also did a Groundhog Day Broadway musical adaptation of that movie. Yeah. I don't think it had a good West End run. I don't think it lasted long on Broadway, it seemed like it got good reviews, but I don't think the public showed up for it seemed like. But we're discussing there's a possibility that will be the second week of March. Brad and I will do a review of Matilda, so potentially that's something to stay tuned to, because I need to watch it because you said it was really good. And I've been talking about canceling my Netflix for like 6 months now and haven't done it yet, but so I need to make sure I watch that before I cancel it. So
worth it.
I don't know the song, but it sounds interesting, sounds well written, and definitely I think would classify as underrated, because the musical itself isn't super well known, and I don't know if that's the main number in that. But
I think we'll talk more if we end up doing Matilda, but I think something that scares a lot of people away is it's a movie musical that relies almost exclusively on the talents of the children performers, and that's a really tough place to be in, because so often shows that are child led suck, because the kids their chops just aren't quite at the level to carry it.
And that's
I thought all the kids were brilliant.
Okay. That's what I've heard, that so School of Rock got turned into a musical. And that was in Omaha a couple years ago. And I've heard it's really good, but I'm always hesitant when things have a primarily child-led cast, like on TV shows and movies too, because a lot of the times it can be rough. You don't connect with them as much as an adult. But
I felt that the whole time watching through the new Percy Jackson series with Adeline, with my oldest kid. Was like, these kids are good, but it's still, not great.
Which is probably good for like that series, right? Because it's more designed for kids. Like, what were you guys' thoughts on Alex?
Yeah, I thought that, the child actors didn't quite have the chops to really carry, or to, I guess a better way to say it was the kids didn't have the chops to make up for the bad writing. I thought there was a lot of stilted dialogue, really forced and clumsy, either exposition or situations that they put in there that they differed from the book, partly to compress it into a show, but also I think to add different types of intrigue that were unnecessary. And so I think with a stronger script, and a clear, more cohesive direction, it would have been a lot better. But when all those other things kind of fall apart, then things like the kids' performance also you kind of see a little more
gets amplified a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm kind
of. They didn't
do
the kids any favors.
Okay. Because Toby Stevens was in it. I think as Poseidon is who he played. He was in Black Sails, which was one of my all-time favorite shows, as Captain Flint. And so I saw he was in that. Former WWE superstar Edge, now AEW wrestler Adam Copeland, is in it as Ares. And I'm not sure what his acting chops are like. I'm guessing not great.
Not awesome.
But
not awful, but not awesome. Lassie from Timothy Amundsen.
Oh yeah, Oliphant. Oh no, it isn't Amundsen. Timothy. No, you're right. It's Timothy Amundsen.
Yeah, I am.
Timothy Oliphant is from Justified.
Justified.
So,
also great show.
And he was in the canceled show, Kentucky. The canceled Netflix show with Drew Barrymore. I forget what it was called. Santa Clarita Diet, where she's a zombie, and he still loves her, and he's trying to that was a good show. Timothy Oliphant, Drew Barrymore, Skylar Gisondo. Good show. Okay.
Timothy Oliphant is a poor man's Josh Duhamel. Changed my mind.
I think he has more range than Josh Duhamel. Josh
he's
Duhamel,
not hunkier.
Duhamel's. No, he's not hunkier, but he has more range for different roles. He
But
played Hitman. Not in a great movie, but okay.
But he's not hunkier.
Okay. You're right. Josh Duhamel, however you pronounce his name, is hunkier than Timothy Oliphant. Mine, I'm going to go with my accurate one that right now, and it could be some recency bias, but right now one of my favorite songs, and I think goes as underappreciated, is Judas's Death from Jesus Christ Superstar. I like all the versions I've seen performed of it. I'm blanking on the guy's name that did it in the John Legend version of Jesus Christ Superstar. John Legend and Sarah Bareilles. I think it was Victor David. Let's see. I'm going to say it right. Brandon Victor Dixon. I knew Victor was in there. But specifically, I really like Tim Minchin's performance from the 2012 arena tour of it. And Judas's Death song, I think there are a lot of... I've really grown to enjoy and appreciate Jesus Christ Superstar more after seeing it live. So I've been listening to the soundtrack more. And there's so many popular big numbers on that. Like the opening number, Heaven on Their Minds, where Judas is like introducing things and narrating his concerns about Jesus and the crowds and everything like this. And just Jesus's ego in the world of fear. But I could get into all the biblical accuracies, historical accuracies, things like that in the world of the musical. And then you have, the song that I picked on our musical love songs ones, the I Don't Know How to Love Him, I think is another big one from there. And then you've got the main number, or the kind of the title track, Superstar, that Judas performs as well. But to me, Judas's Death is one of the more dynamic songs in the musical. It is Judas going, when he goes back to the Pharisees and he's coming to the realization of Jesus getting beaten, what he did. He saved him the suffering, but he felt like it was what he had to do. The Pharisees saying, you backed the right thing. Like what you thought was going to happen, like the crowds were going to turn against him, like he's raising a thing. You did the right thing. And then Judas goes through his own kind of like mini reprise of I Don't Know How to Love Him in there, like singing about just not knowing with his feelings on Jesus on after that. And then it turns to anger and like a realization of how he's, because kind of in Judas's head in the musical is not really believing that Jesus is like the Son of God. Like he's a man. Like at first it was just like these nice things helpful. And now all of a sudden he's the Son of God. He's all of this, not really believing it. Then he kind of comes to the realization in the Judas's Death song, after going through the, like, I don't know how to love him and his feelings about Jesus, to realizing and kind of seemingly coming to the understanding that he does believe he's the Son of God. And then it turning towards anger of, if you're the Son of God and this is what God had planned, then why would you doom me to have your blood on my hands and be dealing with this? Like if you destined to that, because like the two outcomes are either Jesus isn't the Son of God and Judas was right and he did the right thing, turning him over, or if he is the Son of God and that was the plan, what was supposed to do, then Judas kind of got fucked. And so it's him coming to that realization and then that anger, and then when he goes and hangs himself. So it's a very dynamic song. Yeah. And that's what he's like, you have murdered me. And he just keeps repeating like, murdered me, and then goes and hangs himself. And just how it is when I saw it performed live in all the recordings that I've seen, the actor who plays Judas always does like a fantastic job in that role. And it is just so emotional and just all the range of emotions they go through with it. It's great. So that's my first pick.
I'm very pro like any sort of Judas media. So one of the earliest is there's this text called the Gospel of Judas from like the 3rd century, way back in the day,
Okay.
and the whole text of the gospel's just like Jesus pulling Judas aside and being like, those other schmucks don't get it. Like they don't understand what I'm really here for. I'm gonna need you to turn me in so I can like do what I actually do. And so like Judas isn't betraying Jesus. He's actually his only true disciple and the only one that gets it, and Jesus trusts him with all the
Interesting.
fun stuff. But
Well, that's
I think there's a song by go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say earlier in the musical, like during the Last Supper song, um, Judas and Jesus are going back and forth. He's like, and Judas is like, you want me to betray you? Like when he's like, one of you will betray me. He's like, you know who? You want me to do it? I'll go do it. And he's like, they're going back and forth on that and everything too. But yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah. So there's another thing, a song called "Stand Up for Judas" by this Scottish folk singer called by the name of Dick Gauguin, and the whole song is basically taking what I call the GOP Jesus, the Jesus of like patriotic America, the Jesus that's okay with you killing people in the name of God. And kind of being like, yeah, Jesus said some shitty things, and then holding up Judas is like, but maybe Judas had it figured out. Really fun song. But my favorite Judas media by far is this meme that I saw probably 10 years ago now. And it was like Judas speaking to a centurion, the one who I kiss is the man you're looking for. Centurion says, you could really just point him out. And Judas putting on lipstick. I don't tell you how to do your job.
That's great. That's good.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's a great choice. Judas Death Song, and definitely not like what's making a lot like most people's like musical playlists. And I think that's an excellent choice.
Right.
I'm gonna go
real quick. No, I'm gonna interrupt you.
Oh,
I'm gonna interrupt you because we need to do unsponsored shout out, only free shout outs that you want to do. We need to do that. So we're going to interrupt you with a word from our maybe future sponsors. And I did that because I have to pee. Yeah. So, and you mentioned doing that. So, but I do have to pee.
Do you want me to just carry it away while you pee?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This ad break is brought to you by Viagra. I don't need it, but Matt says it works great. I didn't prepare anything for this. I recently purchased a snoot. What's a snoot, you ask? Snoot is a whiskey glass. It's double-walled stainless steel, so the heat from your hand does not warm up the whiskey inside. As you can see, it's not transparent, which means that you can fill this up as much as you want, and people just think you're having a moderate little snifter of whiskey. Great for hiding any depression-related drinking or just full-on alcoholism. Snoot.
You know, I still have my earbuds in when I went to go pee. So, like, and I edit it, so I would still know. I'm probably gonna leave it in, but
well,
yeah.
No lies were told, right?
I mean, you did just go to the well on what you had said the first time you mentioned doing that. So, like, you made that same joke. Did you leave already. That in? Yeah, I left it in.
Well, I
didn't
forgot.
Watch it?
All right. Well, I can't listen to my own voice.
That's fair. I hate listening to my own voice, which is why I do a podcast that I edit and spend all that time doing it. So, yeah, it works out great.
Yeah, that sounds like a really winning strategy. Can I also throw out a shout out, only free shout outs? Another one to Miller Lite. You
Perfect.
froze. I don't know if you're just kind of staring dead-eyed. Like, can I? Yes or no?
You're frozen. Yes, you can. I thought you were going to go into it.
Okay. Every man needs a dad beer. That's just you buy it in a massive case, 24-pack, 36-pack. Costco should carry it. And of the dad beers, Miller Lite is the best. 96 calories per can, way more flavor than any of the other light beer options. And really, I can't think of a better way to drink away my sorrows or quench my thirst on a sunny day than Miller Lite. Please sponsor us. Just send me a hat. That's all I'm asking. I would wear the shit out of that. Shout out on the free shout outs.
I am disappointed. When you're drinking Miller Lite, you need to be getting the 16-ounce cans with the screw top. Those are the best. Like the aluminum bottles, those ones. You can't just do the 12-ounce cans. No. You gotta do the 16-ounce aluminum bottles.
And
that's the proper way to drink Miller
here's
Lite.
Why. Absolutely not. Maybe at a concert. If you're at a concert or a sporting event, yes. The tall boy with the screw top is absolutely the right way to drink Miller Lite. Here's the thing, Matt. When I drink a tall boy, I'm aware that I'm drinking a higher amount of alcohol than I am when I just grab one of these little guys. If I grab a tall boy, I'm only putting 2 down because I'm like, well, that's a lot of beer. I won't even think about this. This doesn't even count. It's so little. 4 or 5 in, you're still just like, I barely had any.
That's fair.
So we're talking 32 ounces versus 60? What's really the right way to drink Miller Lite, Matt?
Fair enough. I like the experience of drinking the bottle, and I drink it just as fast as the can. I don't have the same hang-ups.
Is it the girth?
It's got a wider. Yep, I like the girth
girthy?
and the wider thing. Waterfall is so much easier.
You want to put your mouth over top of it and just...
Correct. It feels more natural that way. But more aesthetically. Yeah. My plug is Modelo Negra. Just a good beer.
Is it Negra or Negro?
Nope, it's an A. Negra. So we're doing. Yeah, it's not going to want to focus on
it's because cerveza is a feminine.
Yep.
Noun. Okay, Negra.
Modelo is masculine, but cerveza is feminine. Negra, feminine. Medium-bodied lager with slow roasted caramel malts brewed for a rich, smooth taste, and that's what you want.
Good for you. Good for you. Actually, saying the full name. I would have just said Modelo Black because this is going on the internet.
It is how it prefers to be called because that's what it's on here, and so I'm going to call it by its preferred beer pronoun. So that's what it wants to be called, and that's what I do. It's no skin off my back. It's my biggest thing.
But good try, Matt.
Nope.
It's an adjective.
I'm trying to teach people a life lesson, Brad. That if people want to be called,
not grammar, that's not the life lesson you're trying to teach.
No, I was never.
Yeah,
I didn't pay attention during grammar things. But yeah,
you didn't get grammar things. You were homeschooled.
No, we had little weird grammar flashcards. We had the
also had the
about
demo
a person,
version
a place,
of
a thing is a noun.
Schoolhouse Rock. Oh,
yeah,
those books. I forgot about those. They had the cassette tape.
Yep.
I'm a verb. I'm an action word. So
yep.
Put me where the action is, because I'm an action word. Those things helped me not a lick.
I mean, you remember the song, so now you know.
Not a pronoun.
I know, Bradley.
So, do you know?
I do know.
It doesn't sound like you
know. I do. Okay.
I'm going to pick my second
round
song.
2. We're round
now.
2.
Is that okay?
Getting sidetracked. This is going to be a 2-hour episode. Round 2.
It better not. I got a bedtime, man.
That's the same.
I am going to go with song from a show that we saw together a while ago now. I'm going to go You're Making Things Up Again, Arnold, from the Book of Mormon. I think that play has so many amazing songs that You're Making Things Up Again really, like, you can forget about it. But it's one of my favorite moments in the play. Good. Arnold's just an unbelievable character, and you see him like really come into his own. Like, that's one of probably the most important moment of that character's development. And then you have like Joseph Smith talking at him, and like his dad and his
Hobbits,
and just the whole thing,
Yoda,
incredible. It's
got all
everything that's just zany about so that good. Musical. They just like they go full in with that song, and it's like Boba Fett comes in, and it's incredible. You're Making Things Up Again.
That's a great pick. That is a great pick. It's one of my favorite moments of that musical, but I would agree. I don't think it's in the top 3 songs from that, like, of what people know and relate to that. I think you've got I Believe, and then I mean, for me, I've got I Believe, I've got Baptize Me, You and Me and Mostly Me. like those ones. Yeah. There are so many good ones. Like
Hasadiga Ibawai is also, I think,
Hasadiga Ibawai,
like one of the first ones that people think of. Baptize Me,
When God Fucks You
be.
In
I can't believe we didn't name that. Yeah. I can't believe we didn't put Baptize Me on our list of musical love songs.
That's true.
That's
true.
I love that great song.
Thing. And like,
and the visual, you need the visual. Unbelievable.
I'm debating editing my list now because that made me remember one that I'm like, ooh, maybe. No, I'm gonna keep what I have, but I'm just gonna give a shout out.
Shout out.
You'll do it.
Yep.
But Spooky Mormon Helldream is one of my favorites from that one. That is another one that I feel like is not one of the more like super well known, but everything with that is so fucking good.
It works.
And just when you've got Satan in it, and it's just and Jesus comes in, and then you got
and even though we didn't grow up Mormon, so even though we didn't grow up Mormon, we absolutely like can resonate with the like religious guilt. And so there's something incredibly relatable about that song, where anybody who grew up in the fundamentalist or like uber religious setting is just like, oh yeah, I remember that, like that angst of like, am I going to hell for doing this one thing?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, dude, that's
great musical.
Great musical. I feel like you're getting
I Am Africa,
like more in depth. Oh, I Am Africa is so good.
Africa.
And then like at the end, you got the Joseph Smith American Moses, and then Tomorrow is Latter Day. Really, like like I'm looking at this, like I enjoy every song from this musical. Like this is like Book of Mormon is a no skips musical.
No skips.
No skips. It's all so good. Okay. Great pick, number 2. I am going to go with one that is probably one of the more well-known from this musical, but is not a very well-known musical. And that is going to be Michael in the Bathroom from Be More Chill. So I've talked about the song on here before. So Be More Chill is a musical. It was on Broadway for a while. It's adapted. It's a book adaptation, and it is basically a guy in high school. He gets a squip. It's a quantum computer. You take a pill, it implants in your brain, controls you, tells you what to do, things like that. It's like sci-fi meets high school drama play. I really enjoy that musical. Our cousin told me about it, and I went and listened to the soundtrack. Really enjoyed it. And I watched some slime tutorials, which you know of it. And so Michael in the Bathroom is a song. You don't know about slime tutorials?
I don't know.
That's what on YouTube.
No, it sounds
how they label bootleg versions of plays. They're labeled as slime tutorials. So there you go. So things people have filmed on their phone at Broadway. It's a slime tutorial. So Michael in the Bathroom.
I thought we were not promoting bootleg versions of musicals on this channel.
I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying that's something that
you
exists.
Sure are referencing it quite a lot, pretty favorably.
I have partaken in.
I think there's a double standard
too. That's fair. I didn't say I'm not a hypocrite.
I don't like the way that sounds.
Slime tutorial?
It explains why that.
Did you never watch the
you've
People's
partaken
Choice,
in a slime tutorial
Nickelodeon? Touche.
No, of course not.
I stand corrected.
It's explaining why you prefer the tall boys. That's all I'm gonna say there.
Yep, and that's it. Okay, but Michael in the Bathroom in this musical, it's a kid, nerdy, lacks confidence. He takes this, gets the squip to help him gain confidence, be cool, be more chill. His friend, who is also very nerdy, is Michael. About halfway through this, go to the party, and the main guy, Jeremy, abandons Michael. And Michael's basically like having a panic anxiety attack in the bathroom. And so it's performed by George Salazar, who does an absolutely... You can watch videos of him that are by the official YouTube channels of him performing it, and he is so good, and just the emotion with it of going through, just feeling overwhelmed and locking here. He's like, I can stay out there, stare at my phone, or I can hide in here, and just I don't matter at all. No one will even care. And just everything that goes through with the song, how it's performed. It's one of my favorite musical songs in general, and it's not a super well-known musical. It didn't have a super extended Broadway run. It got picked up, I think, because on like TikTok, it got some more familiarity and got kind of revived a little bit on Broadway. But Michael in the Bathroom, one of my favorite musical theater songs, and I feel like not enough people know about it. So that's my second round pick.
I don't know about it, and I'm definitely going to check it out. It reminds me of the premise, not that the Michael in the Bathroom specifically, but do you know the song "Danny Don't You Know" by Ninja Sex Party?
No.
It's so I don't know this artist very, very much, but the whole premise of the song is this artist, this musician talking to his younger self. And he's like, hey, little Danny, don't you cry. I'm you for much longer in your life. I know your hair is wild. I know you don't have style. You're still a virgin and you will be for a while. But Danny, don't you know that you are cool as fuck on the inside? And he's like giving his younger self a pep talk. And then it gets super weird. But the music video has Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, and it's, oh my gosh, it's
interesting,
hysterical. Like, Danny, don't you know that you kick so much ass on the inside? And it's kind of that premise of like nerdy kid in high school getting needing some help, a little confidence.
I'll have to check that out. Nice.
My round 3 pick though, not about a nerdy high school kid.
No,
I'm gonna go with what's become right now my favorite song from one of my favorite musicals. I'm going to go with Will I from Rent. It's short and it's simple, but boy, is it powerful. Right? They're at the life support group. And just that poignant, it's sung in the round, and it's simple and it's beautiful. Like, will I lose my dignity? Gets me every time. I don't know that I've seen a performance of this song that wasn't powerful and moving. And it's also one of the things, I think it's rare for these like really big and like amazing songs and musicals to be given, basically handed off to the chorus. but it allows the members of the chorus to really show their chops, to really step forward. And Rent does this, I think, better than a lot of other musicals. So, like Seasons of Love, traditionally, like is led by one of the chorus members. So Rent does this really well. Will I is a really good example of that, and it's also just an emotionally gripping and just poignant song. Will I? It's my number 3.
That's a great one. That it wasn't in my top 5, but it was like 7th on my list because that is. I agree. That's one of my favorites from there. Like I like those just kind of poignant songs, and like you said, with the chorus leading it and just the whole thing. So heartbreaking. It's short, but it is so powerful.
It does a great job of connecting the like what victims of the AIDS epidemic were going through with just the human experience, because it's a course that's picked up not only by the people in the life support group who are experiencing living with AIDS, but it's a song that every human being can sing and really feel and understand, and it's really humanizing of the struggle of people people who were infected with AIDS during the AIDS epidemic, but also really helping us connect with ourselves and trying to understand, man, like life is hard.
Yeah. Great pick.
Love it.
Great pick. Kind of I'm going to stick on the Jonathan Larson train with my 3rd round pick. And I'm going to go with Johnny Can't Decide from Tick, Tick, Boom. So
is that
on?
I mean, I guess Tick, Tick, Boom isn't huge. That's Tick, Tick, my number 1 song in that musical.
I agree, but I don't think it's most people's. I think 3090 or Louder Than Words are people's top ones.
Louder Than Words.
I took Louder Than Words on the very first time we did this, when we did our top 5 musical songs. But I think I think for most people, even Come to Your Senses would probably be higher than Johnny Can't Decide. But
interesting.
I think it counts as Underappreciated, because like I said, I think at least Louder Than Words
counts because of
the size of the play.
I think it counts if only because of the size of the play. I guess there were nominations for Tick, Tick, Boom. But when I talk to people, most of them haven't seen it. Or were like, yeah, it was fine. And it didn't really like hit them, at least not the way it hit me. I love that.
Agreed.
I love that musical.
Johnny
Can't Decide is an amazing song. I'm so glad you picked that, and I'm kind of pissed that I did.
Yeah. Well, you got Will I. But yeah, Tick, Tick, Boom, I think, like, I don't know, at least for movie adaptations of musicals, I think Tick, Tick, Boom is in my top 5. Like, some of the musicals that I maybe enjoy more, there's not really good movie adaptations of it or filmed ones.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed Tick, Tick, Boom. I love so much about it. I thought, like, how Lin-Manuel directed it and how well Andrew Garfield portrayed Jonathan Larson.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. It's one of my favorites.
It's unbelievable. Have you watched the video footage of like Jonathan Larson?
Yeah.
Side by side. They
did like a documentary. Yeah, I've watched the side by side, and I had also watched, they did a documentary that was called No Day But Today that was on the Rent movie DVD about Jonathan Larson's life in general, where they just like, they briefly mention him writing Tick, Tick, Boom, but learning more about like Jonathan Larson's life and everything like that was crazy. And so yeah, Johnny Can't Decide, I like you, I think it is my favorite song from that musical. It is
so good.
It's a heartbreaking song with everything that he's faced with his career and his ambition, and then what Susan wants from him and where he's getting pulled from that and what she wants. And they changed the lyrics slightly in the movie I think was good. Like the movie Susan Wants a Life with Me, and the older one, it's Susan Wants a Family. I think they made, like, I think they're trying to like modernize it, make Susan, she's got her own identity. It doesn't have to be tied to a family. Like she has her own ambitions, her dreams, her careers, and things like that. But just everything with that.
It also
and
makes more sense because a life with Johnny is the next step. Like kids would come later if that's what they wanted, but the next step is a life with Johnny. Like there's no So
agreed.
No, I agree. It's in the way that I just want to like really quickly touch on what you said about the movie adaptation. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda was really helped because the format of
Mm-hmm.
the original Tick Tick Boom original. It's such a small. It's basically a concert.
Yeah, it's not 3 people performing kind of on stage. You don't have sets,
and so he gets to. Yep, he gets to imagine a world. He gets to create the sets. He gets to be creative to bring the show, because it's more of a show than a play, to bring the show to life, rather than a lot of other directors are having to figure out, how do I match people's expectation of what the stage production does with what all the capabilities I now have because of a film, and also do my own creative thing. It kind of took a couple of those things off the table for Lin, and he was able to really put a lot of what I thought was tremendous energy and creativity into Tick Tick Boom. I also loved, what's the Sunday Diner song? Is it just called Sunday?
Just Sunday, or
I think it's just called Sunday
Diner, something like
Sunday
that.
Brunch or something. But bringing in all those like heavy hitter Broadway stars for these little roles, I thought was incredible. And that was one of those things where just like musical fans will know, and they're like, oh, look who that is, and through the whole thing, and it was just beautifully done. Great choice.
Agreed.
I love that musical. People need to like open their eyes and like really understand how great it is. And Johnny Can't Decide, best song, at least my favorite. You ready to move on? Round 4?
Yep. The song is called Sunday, by the way, just Sunday.
Sunday.
So, good. Yep, round 4.
I really think you're going to kick yourself when I pick this next song, because it might be the greatest underrated musical song ever written, recorded, filmed, distributed during a writer's strike, no less. Give me the Bad Horse chorus.
Oh, okay.
Sing along blog.
Not on
bad horse, bad horse, bad horse. Okay. He's bad. That whole, I love Dr. Horrible.
I thought you were gonna do the whole thing. I'm disappointed.
Thoroughbred of sin. Got your application that you just sent in.
It needs evaluation. It's
incredible.
Yeah.
So the games begin.
A heinous crime, a show of force. Would be nice, of course. Bad horse, bad horse.
Bad horse.
It is great.
Bad horse.
I do love Dr. Horrible.
Evilly. The whole, like, I could have chose my freeze ray. I could have chose the.
You could chose any song from there, because the whole musical is underappreciated.
Anything from Dr. Horrible's is incredible. It's disappeared from the internet. I can't find it.
I was able to find it on YouTube, but you can't. Like, you can get a DVD on Amazon.
More bootleg shit, man.
No.
Wow.
Yep.
More illegal.
Shit. You can buy it on DVD on Amazon for like
your
$40.
moral start and stop at Spamalot.
Hey, I'm just not. I said we can't review it on here because there's not an official thing. I didn't say I won't watch it if there's not an official thing. I said we can't. We just can't review it on here.
Have you watched it?
No.
Have you watched it? Didn't think so.
My dog died. I don't know. Like, I don't.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that at you.
You went there.
Yeah.
God. First of all, as I've said in our private conversations, my condolences.
Thank you.
I think it's pretty gross of you to like jinx our grandpa away like
I
with
did
a
not.
podcast, and then like try to use your own dog's death as some sort of like defense against your own inability to watch a musical that your brother kindly recommended to you. There's bad karma there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. You can get the Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog DVD on Amazon for $94 currently.
Holy
$93.98.
crap.
Yeah.
So not 94. Reasonable.
Yeah, $93.98. Those 2 pennies push it over the edge. I think
Please,
the whole thing
please,
is still
be
on
specific.
YouTube. Yeah, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube still. But yeah, it's
for something that was
Neil
supposed to be
Patrick Harris,
subversive
Nathan
and
Fillion,
like
Felicia
free.
Day. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think it's
not
just
like
gross
it's problematic
that people are selling on YouTube
either.
on Amazon for that much. No.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's just licensing issues and the fact that like they just wanted to be creative. They weren't trying to make money off of it. It was during a strike and they're like,
yep.
Let's put this up.
Yep. I think Joss
I
Whedon
love it.
did
I
have some
love everything
problematic
about
shit though. Didn't he? Because I haven't seen him do like
He
anything
did.
after he butchered after like with the whole Justice League debacle. Like there was some shit that happened. I don't know. But so maybe that's why I scrubbed. But yeah, it's very hard to find. But it is so good.
Bad Horse Chorus is mine.
Bad Horse Chorus was not on my list, but that is a great pick. That is a great pick.
Should have
and
been.
I respect that. It should have been. I am going to go with for my second to last pick, I'm going to go with Words Fail from Dear Evan Hansen. I think I don't think it's one of the like the top ones from this that people think of or pick. But to me, I really like the songs that are more emotional and deal with these people's feelings, or whether it's heartbreak or just struggling with the consequences of their actions. Things like that are songs that I really latch onto in musicals. And so this is the one where after I'm just, when I'm explaining the places all these songs take place, I'm just spoiling all these movies and everything. But it's the gist
for someone
of this
like me
one,
who hasn't seen as many musicals as you. This is really
I
too
know,
bad.
I apologize. But this is just the main character, Evan, and Ben Platt does a fantastic job performing this. He looks weird as hell with all the makeup in the movie, but vocally, great.
It's not good. I have not been able to like. I turned it on, and then like as soon as I saw Ben Platt, I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
There was one podcast I listened to it. They review movies, and they're like, I don't know what it is, but in that movie, Ben Platt just looks like the wettest person ever. And it's true. He just looks very dewy and moist the entire movie for some reason. I don't know why. But he does.
I don't know how they made someone who was probably like 34 when they filmed it. Like them trying to make him look like a high schooler just made him look like a pedophile.
Right. I don't know what it is. Like they did, because like Caitlin Deaver's similar age. Like he is. No, he would have been like 28 when they filmed it. Or younger. He was born in 93. It came out in 2021.
He's lived a hard life, I guess.
He would have been like 26, 27 when they filmed it. Probably.
Monique Coleman was like
just
30 when they filmed High School Musical.
That was the age when it didn't really matter. Everyone in like you watch those older movies, everyone in high school looks 30. But yeah, Words Fail.
Yeah. I mean, like all of what's the show that Corey watches? One Tree Hill. It's like Sophia Bush and all of them. You watch it, they're supposed to be in high school, and you're like, dude, you're like 25.
Yeah.
Like, this is not.
Mm-hmm.
I think the difference is Monique Coleman like didn't age between the ages of like 17 and 30 or whatever. And she's still like, I don't know that she's aged a day. But like Ben Platt aged like milk.
See, I don't think it's necessarily
sorry,
that
white
he
dude.
looks that old. Because, like in the movie Theater Camp, like he has a beard, old, but he looks younger than he does in Dear Evan Hansen for some reason. I don't know if it's because they have him clean shaven and then they just have so much fucking makeup caked on to try to make him look younger. And then how they do his hair, he just looks like off. He just looks weird. But we're digressing.
It does look off.
My pick was Words Fail from it in his performance.
I just want to. Monique Coleman was 26 when they filmed the first one. And she was like in her 30s by the third one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for fact checking yourself.
I
appreciate
it. I don't want to be a liar.
I appreciate that.
It's a good pick. Sorry, the movie was so cringe.
Yeah, there were things I liked the new song, the anonymous ones in the movie. I like that. Good song. The rest of it, but Words Fail is just the song where he's like he's having to face the consequences of his actions, basically, for the lies that he's told and come clean about it. And just saying, he can't express how sad he is, what everything he's going through, how sorry he is, all of this. And it's one of my favorite songs from the musical. And so, yep, that's my pick for round 4. And now your final pick.
Oh, shit. Really quick, shit. Breaking news. Vanessa Hudgens got married last year.
Really? Good for her. I think I knew that.
Sad.
You're still holding out hope?
Kind of is good for her. Except for the guys. Dude was born in 1996.
Youngin'.
Like, he is a professional baseball player. And
yeah, I knew this.
The man's living the American dream. Like, he had to have, like, watched Vanessa Hudgens do the Mickey Mouse ears on the Disney Channel when he was, like, 8 years old and been like, she's pretty hot.
Mm-hmm.
And then he married her. Good for him. It helps that he's 6'3".
Yep,
and,
that does help.
Professional
Women
athlete.
like a tall man. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that
man
every
money and athletic.
I don't think it
bunny
would
trail
be something that like everybody.
Have you seen the thing with the MLB? The issue with the Fanatics is now the official jersey person of the NFL, not NFL. Fuck, and had 3
MLB?
beers in the sour. MLB, and they make it cheap pieces of shit jerseys. What
they do? They
and
make
so
cheap pieces of shit sweatshirts too.
Yeah, and so there's so many pictures of like the MLB players, and like the pants are just like completely see-through. Like you can see everything. It is rough. It's rough.
No. That's no good. Well, now I'm essentially looking up dicks, I guess.
Yeah, you're pretty much not gazing right now. No, it's bad.
This is real bad. Well, do you remember what happened to Chris Jones at the Combine? Chris Jones, the defensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs. Absolute superstar. He was running the 40-yard dash and his dick full on fell out. And like you can find the video on YouTube and see his dick. Like it's just there. And like he gets past the line and he just like front slides trying to cover, and he's just like, my dick fell out. It's just honestly, man. Like what a blessed man to be able to have that problem. Like, the hammer swing and ripped through the compression shorts.
That's
like
true.
No pants can contain me. Like, you know what? Good for him. Good for him.
That's right. Good for him. Good for him.
Made for a hell of a combine moment. So I guess if we're talking about looking up dicks.
Yeah, that does it for the dick talk. Fine. Now to round 5, which I have to pee before.
Final pick. All right.
No, I have to pee.
You
have to wait.
I gotta pee too. Can I go pee?
Yes.
Can I pee? I'm gonna pee.
Yes.
Little All right, so
okay,
I'm going to kick it off.
Here we are, round 5. Yeah, round 5. Close us out, Brad. Your final pick of underrated musical songs.
I would be remiss if I didn't have some Les Mis on there. And the first one that popped into my head is one that really we've talked about ad nauseum already. On My Own was something that I thought like I wanted to go with because it's so good, but like really, that's not that underrated. Like everybody knows that song is incredible. And so
agreed.
You know, while Bring Him Home and Stars and Do You Hear the People Sing and
see, I don't put Bring Him Home up there for me.
Traditional like hardcore Les Mis fans, that's kind of like that's how you judge Valjean is how's
okay, that's fair.
Bring Him Home. And I Dreamed a Dream. Those are all great songs, but really like On My Own is pretty up there too with those. So I decided not to go with that and instead go with another one from Eponine because she's such an incredible character. A Little Fall of Rain. Because
another short
boy, does that song, it's incredibly short. But it gets me every time. There's something about the way she sacrifices herself for Marius, the way he realizes like how important she is, and like she does get some sort of, it's not a romantic reciprocation of love, but in that moment she's able to express how she cares for Marius. He's being able to say, I love you too. Like it's not in that way, but there's still a sharing
there's
of love
there
and care, and it's it's heartbreaking. Little Fall of Rain, and I do think that qualifies for such a well-known,
that one definitely does
musical.
I'll give you that. Definitely.
That song flies under the radar, partly because I don't even know if it's a minute long.
It's short,
but it's a good Little Fall of Rain. I feel good about that. Round 5.
Well done. I agree. That is a great one. Do you have a particular Eponine in mind, or do you just love that song in general? Like, is there?
I think
we haven't really been clarifying that much. Like, if there's certain performances that do it for you, but
I think Sammy's who I go with, both in the concert cast as well as the movie.
She performed it in the concert as well. I haven't watched the concert yet.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, nice.
I know. Was it Lea Salonga?
I think so. That sounds right.
Happening, and she was pretty good. So she played Mulan, right? No. Yeah, she was Mulan.
Really?
But she played Eponine. And
interesting.
But it's Samantha for me.
Fair. Well, Brad, for my final pick, just like you would be remiss if you didn't pick a Les Mis song, I would be remiss if I didn't pick a Jeremy Jordan song on my list. I have to keep the trend going.
I can't believe you did that.
I know. It is very
Jeremy,
shocking.
Come on the podcast. Shocking. Look.
He's Gatsby on Broadway right now. He's too busy. He's
not too busy. They perform at night. You can record in the morning. You would take off work. Jeremy Jordan, Matt will take PTO.
I do not have vacation
to record a podcast with you. Yeah, he doesn't even have vacation time, and he will take it.
Yeah.
You definitely would. Come on. He'll do it from Barbados. He'll fly you to Barbados to record the podcast.
Now, I don't have that kind of budget. But
he will take out a loan to fly you to Barbados. Jeremy Jordan, come on Matt's podcast.
All right. But my Jeremy Jordan performed song is Nobody Needs to Know from the last 5 years. So I know we've talked about the last 5 years some. Rayleigh and I already reviewed it. You and I have talked about it. You couldn't get into it. You've never watched the full movie, correct? Because
That
part
is
of it was like
correct.
the different timelines and how it works, like just wasn't your thing.
It to me, in my for my taste, it had like the structure and the style of something that thought it was clever without actually being clever.
That's
Like
fair. Like,
the back and forth
I get
timeline
it.
I thought was like an attempt at being cute that to me didn't work.
I get it. And
Anna
I
Kendrick,
do feel like that's
I still love
completely
you.
fair. I was gonna say, for me, I thought the movie, I don't know the actual play that well. The movie, though, Anna Kendrick and Jeremy Jordan are both very likable and very talented people. So for me, they're what makes that movie enjoyable to watch. But the Nobody Needs to Know is a song towards the end of the musical where Jeremy Jordan's character is performing. He's cheating on his wife, being a shitty person. But
what a dick.
It's just
Sounds
this
like
song
Jer Bear
about how his character in this musical, like you see the story of him and Anna Kendrick's character, Kathy. You see their relationship and everything, and from the different sides and perspectives, and what he is portraying and how he is experiencing it in his head is that he's the victim and that she is just like very needy and nothing can make her happy, and that he tries to find a little something for himself, and she just tears it apart. And so of course that justifies the cheating. So he's kind of a piece of shit, but this song, there's something about it. There's something about it that I just
he's
really
just gaslighting his wife and cheating on her. I guess he's a little bit not cool.
Yeah. But how his character Jamie's portraying it and everything, and I don't know, how he sings it and performs it is so good. It's up there for me. I don't think it's like one of the more well-known ones from that musical. Like the musical itself isn't super well known too. Like it's pretty short. Like they don't do it in the Broadway. Like they don't tour it. They have like, it's what like local productions do. Things like that, because it's a 2-person play and that's all it is. It's 2 people and a piano essentially. And so it's not a big show-stopping number, anything like that. It's a very intimate song, toned back. It is just the vocals. It is great. That is my final pick.
Jeremy,
Nobody Needs to Know
and you.
The last 5 years.
Just how you like it.
No. But that does it. So to recap, Brad's final list was School Song from Matilda, You're Making Things Up Again from Book of Mormon, Will I from Rent, Bad Horse Chorus from Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along blog, and A Little Fall of Rain from Les Mis. And then mine was Judas's Death from Jesus Christ Superstar, Michael in the Bathroom from Be More Chill, Johnny Can't Decide from Tick Tick Boom, Words Fail from Dear Evan Hansen, and Nobody Needs to Know from The Last 5 Years. So, fairly solid list.
I think I kicked your ass again.
I don't know. I think Bad Horse Chorus, I think we'll lose you some. But the rest of them are fairly solid.
A lie. That's, as Mother would say, a lie from the pit of hell.
I don't think a lot of people know Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along blog. Although a person that I work with who
I don't think a lot of people know Be More Chill.
Getting his doctorate in saxophone something, he's familiar with Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along blog. We have discussed.
Turns out the educated people know what's up.
Yeah, what's your doctorate
fellow
gonna be
erudite dickheads? Religion.
Just religion, general religion. Doesn't it have some fun title?
New Testament, early Christian literature.
Okay. Okay.
That's how I know some shit about the Gospel of Judas. So take that, man. Hey, if we want to turn this into a Christian Apocrypha podcast, I got some stories about miracles and animals.
Perfect. What do you know about this movie, The Book of Clarence, with Lakeith Stanfield? Do you know anything about the movie, The Book of Clarence?
I know that Corey's grandpa's name is Clarence, and when she was about 13 years old, he said, "Wow, you're really starting to get boobs, aren't you?" So,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Nice.
He also, at Corey's great-grandmother's funeral, and this is the mother of the woman that Clarence cheated on and then divorced. At Corey's great-grandmother's funeral, showed up, unannounced, unwanted, and proceeded to loudly tell Corey that us being victims of the Highland Park parade shooting was his claim to fame.
What a great claim to fame.
So, you're welcome, Clarence. I probably don't give a shit about your book.
Clarence has real nice parents. Isn't that the name in 8 Mile of Anthony Mackie's?
Yeah, it is.
Wasn't his real name Clarence?
Yep.
His real name's Clarence. Oh, man.
That rap battle where he just toasted. He just absolutely roasted him. He's like, it goes to private school.
It's so good. Anyways, The Book of Clarence is a Lakeith Stanfield starring movie where he's like, basically Jesus is happening and going on, and this guy's like, I need to make a better life for myself. Jesus, the Messiah, is having all this stuff. I am going to stage like I have that power too, and go along with it. I don't know. I'm this close to buying it on Vudu because I want to see it, but I'm trying to wait till it goes on sale.
We could talk.
But it looks interesting. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
So that was.
I don't know anything about it. Yeah.
I've seen the trailer. I like Lakeith Stanfield, so we'll see.
I'm just like saying Lakeith Stanfield. It's a hell of a name.
It is a hell of a name. Like, that's New York can do something with your life.
We got Bradley and Matthew Hansen.
Yeah.
We weren't going to be nothing.
There are 4 people that work in the general area of me that have the exact same name as me. That's how basic my name is. Also,
I tell people I answer to any generic white name.
There you go.
I'll answer to Josh, John, Matt, Chad. Brad, Ethan.
I say Chad and Brad are usually the ones thrown together mostly. Those are the douchebag names.
They're not wrong.
You're only slightly douchey. You're more pretentious than douchey, I would say. So you broke the mold.
It's really nice that I kind of swung through. I swung through douche, got some education, and moved to pretentious. That's really
right.
Pretentious is just a douche with a vocabulary.
That's right. You're focusing on your New Testament literature.
New Testament early Christian literature.
Sorry.
Put some respect on my literature.
Name. I apologize. Do I need to put...
Should we
no, you don't have your doctorate yet.
Oh, God. Thanks for reminding me, man.
Well, it's coming. Should we run through what? What do you want
I love coming on here and having you you insult me. No, I was just going to say...
You were saying I used Viagra earlier. Calm the fuck down.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with a little bit of help.
That's true.
Hymns.
That's true.
It's really for her.
That's true.
Shout out.
Okay.
Shout-outs. I don't know why that's not their slogan. Hymns, but it's really for her. I think that's...
Because they do multivitamins.
Hire me now.
They do multivitamins too. So...
Yeah, but like when you feel good, like everybody around you.
That's true.
But it's also, that's assuming a heteronormative relationship. I understand.
That's right. Heteronormative.
But
yep. Okay, what are you wanting to run through? What are we running through?
Do we have any honorable mentions? I have a couple that didn't make my top 5, but I think should be. I'm just gonna throw out. You know what? I'll just put out 2. You brought up Johnny Can't Decide from Tick Tick Boom, but I also think an underrated song in that musical is Therapy. That
Agreed.
I think is such an unbelievably clever song. I love the way musicals have the ability to stack voices and stack parts. It is a brilliantly written song. In the movie, it's brilliantly performed by Andy Garfield and Vanessa Hudgens, but then by Lin-Manuel Miranda, it's very creatively shot because the song is funny. The song is lighthearted.
It's a great song.
And then
it's one of my favorites.
Layers on top of it super intense
argument. They're having,
like a crazy intense, almost triggering like couple fight. And so the juxtaposition of the funny song with like the oof been there like screaming match is fantastic. But because there's so many great songs in what's already an under appreciated musical, Therapy I think kind of slides under. That's honorable mention number 1. And 2, I'm gonna say That Would Be Enough from Hamilton, because we haven't said anything from
You're fucking it. The
my computer agrees. Is it the peace sign does it?
I think so.
It does. Okay.
Yep. It's
good to know.
Sign. Yep. Peace sign gives you balloons.
That would be enough.
Interesting.
That would be enough.
That's a good one.
Philippa Sue, I think, is incredible.
Agreed.
My neck of the woods. She graduated from Libertyville High School, actually, which is only about 10 miles from me. My buddy's an English teacher there, but she's unbelievable. And there's other moments in the play where she really shines, but I think That Would Be Enough is probably Eliza's best moment in Act 1, where she's showing just the purity of her like care for Alexander. It's a great song, wonderfully performed. That Would Be Enough. And because Hamilton's huge. It might be the biggest musical right now, so it's hard to call anything from Hamilton under the radar. But I do think that this is a song that gets lost in the shuffle.
I would agree with that. Like if you're like, I think Satisfied, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. But That Would Be Enough.
Well, my shot.
Yeah. That would be enough.
You remember that one? I know it's early.
I would have said Qualified. Those are your only 2 that you were mentioning for honorable mentions?
Yeah, I also thought about adding Everything Changes from Waitress, but I think now that it's actually been recorded and out, if it's under the radar now, it won't be for long.
I don't know that Everything Changes is one of the main ones that people think of with that musical, though. With She Used to Be Mine. I think She Used to Be Mine is the main one. She Used to Be Mine
is definitely number 1.
But
I figured it was She Used to Be Mine and then Everything Changes.
See, I only saw the movie once, and I haven't listened to the soundtrack a ton besides specific songs. I don't even remember which one Everything Changes is.
What a dick. Are you serious?
I remember She Used to Be Mine. For me, it's She Used to Be Mine, then You Matter to Me, then Bad Idea, and then
jeez,
not what's it called? The one that she sings with her shitty husband. It's like Till the End of Time, You Will Be Mine. I forget what that song's called, but that one. Those are my top 4 from there. I don't love What Baking Can Do. There's some other ones.
I think so. This is interesting. So this definitely counts as under the radar. Everything Changes. Like, people wake up. It's a great song.
Check it out. I haven't rewatched
it. Ones on Apple Music that have the little dot saying that they're the most popular is What Bacon Can Do, When He Sees Me, Never Ever Getting Rid of Me, and She Used to Be Mine.
Okay.
Interesting. But, Everything Changes comes right after the birth of the kid. It's like like basically the end of the show.
Oh, it's the end of it. Okay,
And
that's that
I
one.
mean,
Okay.
the whole thing is like the pregnancy is so complicated of an issue in this woman's life,
Right.
because like the way that she embraces how her life has changed in a positive way with that song, I think is really redemptive. It's really beautiful. It's also just a great song. Sarah Bareilles, you're an angel. Come on the podcast, but with me, he doesn't have to be here. Tell you about when I saw you in New York.
There you go.
I guess I just did. That's all there is of this story. I saw you
saw you
play in New York, Sarah. I
We talked
thought you were
about
an
it.
angel. I told my wife, Sarah Bareilles is an angel. She's like, okay then.
Cool.
And I said, you just don't get it. But she's unbelievable.
So my honorable mentions would be, and this is one that I debated. I didn't go with it because I had other ones that were higher, but this was like my 6th one on my list, so I would have tried to fight for it. Is Say It To Me Now from Once. Like, I feel like Once isn't super well known in general, and Falling Slowly is the main one that's known from that. But Say It To Me Now, like, that one rivals Falling Slowly for me. Like, Falling Slowly still edges it out, but just barely. Say It To Me Now is so good from that. Glenn Hansard, so good. So that one is up there.
Unbelievable.
And then other ones that I have are For the Rest of My Life from Prince of Egypt, the Broadway musical. So it's an original song for the musical. It's not in the movie. But in the Broadway version, this is a song that I didn't like a lot of the other changes of the Broadway one. I'm like, it was fine. I thought the movie was better overall.
You like the Val Kilmer, Jeff Goldblum,
yeah, the white people one,
Steve Martin Short version.
Yeah. But this song, For the Rest of My Life, is after the plague that kills the firstborns of all of them, like of Egypt. All the firstborns are dead.
Real stand-up moment for God.
Agreed. And that's what this song is. Oof. It is Moses singing then. He's like, for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to live with this. Like, the things I did in your name, but now, like, I am going to have to deal with, like, this guilt, like, these memories. Like, I'm going to have to live with this for the rest of my life. The rest of these people don't have any lives anymore. So, like, I'm one of the few now that for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to live with this. And it is just a very emotional song, and it's a heavy song, but it's really good. And so that was one that was added to the Broadway musical. That was the only thing that I really appreciated about the Broadway musical. And then another one that I had is Proud of Your Boy from Aladdin from the Broadway musical. Is one that wasn't part of the original movie. It was a new one added for the musical, and it's Aladdin singing to his estranged dead. It doesn't really get into that, and then we're not going to get into all those convoluted things with Aladdin.
The leader of
but it's him singing.
Or the Prince of Thieves? The leader of the 40 Thieves?
I watched Return of Jafar because I'm like, I feel like Return of Jafar, like, yeah, it wasn't as good as the original, but I feel like it was decent for a sequel. It's not. It is hot garbage.
No,
it is not good. It's bad.
Man.
It's very bad.
My oldest requested the Return of Jafar. Like, that's
and Disney Plus has the warning ahead of it too, saying, "Hey, this has negative portrayals."
This didn't age well. Oh man, I still can't believe that they kept Peter Pan unedited on Disney Plus. And just put the little tag in the front. We're just like, hey, some of these things haven't aged great.
I think that's the best way to handle the movie. Though. Like,
I think that the vault was a fine strategy for handling that.
What? You didn't want to watch what makes the red man red all the time? That's not like on rotation.
So I remembered that being pretty bad. Then I rewatched it, and I was like, whatever you're remembering, double it. This is like
It's rough.
like this is the kind of thing that like anybody would and should get fired for if they proposed that
Did it today.
right? And just like a a little like, hey, by the way, there's some stuff in here that's not very cool. I don't think quite cuts it. I mean, so and even things like we just watched Pocahontas. Um and there's some pretty great moments in that where like uh the chief comes out, he's like, these white men are dangerous. And that's kind of just like that's history. That's the last 10 decades,
Yeah.
10 centuries of history. But they're singing the Savages song. Savages, barely even human.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we're watching this, and Corey, who's Native American, it was just like, wow, like the Native Americans, what they're saying about the white people is not nearly as bad as what the white people are saying about them. And I was like, I think that's the point. I think I think they were going for that.
Yep.
But all that to say, I don't know how we got on that tangent. But
I
Peter
don't
Pan,
remember either.
Put back in the vault, buddy. It's not a good enough movie.
Isn't that Doug's like favorite Disney movie? He's gonna fight you.
I don't know, but if it is, that's too bad.
Okay. I think that about does it for this episode. Next week I will be doing a mini review of the Shrek the Musical National Tour. Full disclosure, this is from someone who didn't see the Shrek movie until I was like 29, and I felt
that's
like
a shame.
We weren't allowed to watch it growing up. Do you remember? Our parents previewed the movie and then decided it was too crude for us to watch.
I had a professor in college assign it to me as homework that I got graded on. I had to write a report on Shrek in college.
Just because you hadn't watched it?
I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
She was like, fantastic. Well, guess what's now part of the class?
That's great. That's great.
It was awesome.
So yeah, and that will be coming next week. Spoiler alert, Shrek, I think it was because it was hyped up so much for me before I actually watched it. I felt like it was fine. I'm not like this was great. I felt like it was fine. So we're going to see how Shrek the Musical is. And so I will talk about that on next week's episode. Then there will be a probably joint episode with Brad and I, maybe a mini episode. I'm going to be out of the country for a week, so we're trying to schedule and pre-record, and then I'll have to edit. I'm going to have like 3 episodes to record and edit in a week's time here. So we'll see how things turn out. So stay tuned to our social media for what's coming up. Like, follow, subscribe, turn on notifications. That's the best way to know when new episodes are live, when things are coming up, and when we post about things. So Instagram is where we put most of our updates, our story, our posts on there. Go to YouTube, follow us, rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything like that. Download the episodes too, even if you listen. Fun fact, all the reporting is done by downloads. So I don't know how many of you are listening to it. I just know how many of you download it. So download the episode. Let us know you're liking it, enjoying it. Leave us comments. Give us suggestions for things you want us to do drafts on, any things you want us to list or random things. If you want us to do some more blind rankings like Brad threw at me today, let us know in the comments, DM us.
I think we should, because
give us
you need
suggestions.
some you need some you need to cleanse your palate after ranking Cats number 1.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
I also want to say, Jeremy Jordan, come on the podcast. You would make Matt's life.
I mean, I'm not gonna complain.
Talk to us about Gatsby. I mean, you can count it as publicity for your show.
I can look for press tour stuff. Our last video has almost 250 views. That's high for us. Well, mine. Brad wasn't on it, but My last solo episode currently has 249 views, so just saying.
Oh man.
But yeah, come on the podcast, like, follow, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun shit. Thank you all for joining us, and don't forget to go down once more. Later. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down.
Sorry.
God damn.
Can we restart when I'm not like swallowing, just like
I wasn't
gulping
looking
down full of beer?
I guess. Nice. I guess we can start when you're not swallowing. Okay. You ready? Okay. Let's go. What are your children yelling? I feel like I heard a child in the background.
You definitely did. Mommy! Mom! Mommy!
Nice.
He poops his pants and then he just like yells for us. And then we go in.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I'm poopy.
Nice.
You can't do anything about that. You can't be like rolling it, dude.
Okay.
Get off your phone, dickhead.